Hey, thanks for watching the second installment of our Arizona trip. In the first part, we mainly focused on going to Prescott and Jerome. But in this second part, we're going to cover 2 days where we hit the big ones, Sedona and the Grand Canyon. And you could find them here on this map. We started off in Sedona, and one of the first places we went to was the airport. The airport actually had a great viewing area, as you can see as I pan across the city of Sedona here. This is just absolutely spectacular, and you could drive right up there. I think there was an entrance fee of just a few bucks, and it was amazing. So if you ever find yourself in Sedona, Arizona, I highly recommend going to the airport first, viewing these spectacular vistas before you do any other touristy stuff within Sedona, because there is a lot. We tried to make the best of our time, soaking in all the scenery and making some great family memories on top of the Sedona airport. Like this Kodak moment, father-son bonding, or this sibling moment where they practiced out-of-date fads. I tried to get the family in mid-jump, but only got my wife's big hair. And here's a picture of my son, surrounded by beauty, staring at a rock through the binoculars. And as I was looking for more pictures to post on this video, I found this in the camera roll. And my first thought was, did one of my kids grab my phone? But then I thought, nope, that was me. It was me. Apparently, I'm a grown man in my 40s who has the humor of an 8th grader. From the Sedona airport, we trekked across town to the Chapel of the Holy Cross, the Catholic chapel that is built within the Red Rocks. And it turned out it was a Sunday morning, and so there was quite a few people there, and it was a very memorable occasion. The reason it was so memorable, at least for me, was there was a whole generational family there, from infant kids to the old matriarch of the family who were worshiping. And the old matriarch, this old woman, got up and was reciting certain passages, and the whole church was, doing call and response. It was quite something to see. After being inside the chapel, which was really hot, we went outside and did what all the other people in the crowd were doing, and looking at these grand views of Sedona, where most everybody comes to Sedona for, is to look at these views. You could see Bell Rock off in the distance over there. You could see the Red Rocks and everything that goes with it. Just simply beautiful. The Geiken soon left that chapel, and we did our main activity of the day, which was the Pink Jeep Tour. A driver took us out on these back roads. It was very shaky, as he liked to say, but it was also a lot of fun. In one of my final lectures in my World Civ class, I bring up the state of religion in the modern world, and one of the main subpoints is how new religions and new spirituality forms are happening, and Sedona is the center of one of these, the New Age. So after we got done with the Pink Jeep Tour, my family went to Chipotle, but not this guy. Not this guy. I strolled on over to the Visitor Center of the Chamber of Commerce, where I had to see all the pamphlets. Oh, I was not disappointed. There were pamphlets about everything, from vortexes to UFO tours, to cover-ups, to conspiracies, to holistic healing, and everything you can think of. It was there. But the single pamphlet that piqued my interest the most and put a smile on my face was Mystic Tours with Rahelio. This is amazing. I love that picture. And finally, for my students who wondered what aura photography was, this is it. I saw this picture outside of a shop that advertised it, and it looks like a glamour shot you'd take in some mall in 1995. After a busy morning in Sedona, we unceremoniously dumped the kids off, and my wife and I went and visited some vineyards and found this amazing brewery in Clarksdale. It was called Smeltertown, and it related to the old economic activity of the region of mining. I decided to buy a hat because I really liked their logo. One of my favorite things to teach in world history and world civ is the Industrial Revolution, and so this logo kind of sang to me. And the hat fit. We had one more stop to make before dinner, and we picked up the kids and went to Page Springs Vineyard and played a little chess. Had our daughter drink her first root beer. Jokes aside, the reason we went to the vineyard was we wanted the kids to see this nice scene of nature and watch the Oak Creek as it meanders its way through. And they had this beautiful overlook where you could sit and watch. At the end of the day, we were all tired and hungry, and so we went and ordered food, and I looked good doing it and eating it. Yum yum club sandwich. The next day was one of the biggest of our trip, the day we go to the Grand Canyon, the place where 4.7 million people go to visit every single year. But as we woke up, there were clouds on the horizon, clouds behind us. It was unseasonably rainy for Arizona. But that did not stop the Geikens. We traveled up to the South Rim and watched as my kids beheld their first viewing of the Grand Canyon right here. It was magical. Hey kids, first time seeing the Grand Canyon. I was a little disappointing.
Dad. Look closely, you can see it.
No, you can't. Happy Grand Canyon. The kids were starting to get hostile, and thank goodness some of the cloud moved out of the way and the kids could behold the glory of at least part of the Grand Canyon. And then a cloud came back through and covered it right back up again, and the kids got angry again, so my wife and I decided to hop on a bus and go to a different part of the viewing area, and that's what we did. And it worked. As we moved to a different spot, the view became much better. The kids cheered up. A Portuguese family asked me to take a picture of them with a nice, expensive-looking camera, and we were able to see some magical pictures of the Grand Canyon, and it was great. The kids had a great time, and it turned out to be a better day than we thought. And to continue my theme of middle school humor, I took this great picture of mule scat. Shortly after, I was able to capture this image of a very photogenic squirrel with the Grand Canyon behind it. In fact, I think it is the best picture I took on the entire trip. We spent the rest of our time at the Grand Canyon trying to soak in as much of these views that we could and hoping that the kids got something great out of it. My daughter remarked about how many languages she heard other people there speaking, and as I looked around, I couldn't help but agree. In fact, in an amazing scene in one of the buses that we were on taking us to different points of the park, I heard a man who was obviously of East Asian descent speaking what I could only guess was perfect Italian. It was amazing. I was in shock and awe. Finally, we went to Mather Point one last time and got to the front of the crowd to try to take a family portrait, only to have this woman in this blue satin shirt push her way through us, not a care in the world. She was not going to be denied. I had to respect that. Overall, it was an amazing day seeing the Grand Canyon, seeing my kids see the Grand Canyon for the first time. And we took the journey back to where we were staying in Cottonwood, only to be greeted by this amazing picture of a rainbow overlooking the valley.
Dad.